The question of Melania Trump's whereabouts has become increasingly relevant as Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff campaign together, while Donald Trump often appears solo, with only a few exceptions. Melania briefly joined him at the Republican National Convention and was seen with Laura Loomer for a short time, but that relationship quickly faded. So, what has Melania been up to? It turns out she's been busy working on her memoir. Like her husband, she seems to be capitalizing on opportunities, but her book isn't solely about making money from Trump's devoted followers before the political tide turns. There appear to be deeper motives behind Melania's memoir that could undermine Donald Trump. In a recently uncovered copy of her memoir reported by The Guardian, Melania openly criticizes Donald, effectively turning against him. This revelation is particularly alarming for Trump, as it touches on sensitive issues that could jeopardize his campaign. Before diving deeper into this shocking report about her book, I'd appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps us out. As I mentioned earlier, we initially thought Melania's memoir was merely a cash grab, a sentiment echoed by Donald Trump himself in a clip we should review before discussing the surprising details of her book.
Go out and get a book. She just wrote a book. I hope she said good things about it. I don't know. I didn't. So busy. She just wrote a book called Melania. Go out and buy it. It's great. And if she says bad things about me, I'll call you all up and I'll say, don't buy it. Get rid of it.
At first, Donald Trump might not have paid much attention to Melania Trump's book, but that's about to change. As I mentioned earlier, she really turns on him and puts him in a tough spot in her memoir. I can totally see him soon hopping on Truth Social, typing away with those little thumbs of his, telling everyone not to buy Melania's book because what's revealed in it is going to blow people away and could really hurt him. Let's dive into the details. In her upcoming memoir, Melania Trump strongly supports abortion rights. She states, "I have carried this belief with me throughout my entire adult life, making it clear that she believes women should have the right to make choices about their own bodies, including whether or not to have an abortion." She argues that it's crucial for women to have the freedom to decide if and when they want children without any pressure from the government. She raises an important question. Why should anyone other than the woman herself have the power to determine what she does with her own body?
Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
Melania Trump insists that a woman's right to make decisions about her own life includes the choice to end a pregnancy if she feels it's necessary. She believes that limiting a woman's ability to choose is like taking away her control over her own body. This stance is quite different from Donald Trump's views and could create some tension between them as they navigate this hot-button issue during the campaign. Her memoir is set to come out just a month before the election, making it even more significant as they face this contentious topic together. Melania Trump hasn't often shared her political thoughts publicly, but that's about to change with her new book coming out next Tuesday. It turns out she holds views that are quite different from those of her party. The Guardian got an early look at it, and what she says about abortion rights is pretty eye-opening. Given that her husband, Donald Trump, is running on an anti-abortion platform, this is a bold move. Under his leadership, women's reproductive rights have faced serious setbacks, so her support for these rights stands out even more. Donald Trump has tried to take credit for the Supreme Court's decision that rolled back abortion rights, while also dodging the backlash by saying states should make their own rules. But as Democrats have campaigned on this issue, they've won elections, even in traditionally conservative areas, showing that threats to reproductive rights are a big deal for voters. Before diving into abortion, Melania Trump mentions that she doesn't always agree with her husband on immigration policies, especially since she's an immigrant herself. She notes, "Occasional policy disagreements between me and my husband are part of our relationship." However, she prefers to keep those discussions private, until now. Later in her memoir, she shares views on abortion that clash sharply with Donald Trump's and his party's stance. Melania Trump writes about the importance of prioritizing personal well-being and emphasizes that everyone has fundamental rights, including the right right to make choices about their own bodies and health. She expresses solidarity with those advocating for reproductive rights and reflects on the slogan, "My body, my choice." While it's often associated with pro-choice activists, she believes it applies universally to a woman's right to make decisions about her body. This revelation is huge, especially with an abortion amendment on the ballot in Florida, Donald Trump's home state. It raises questions about how Melania Trump will vote, likely against a proposed 6-week ban, marking another break from her husband. While it's unclear if she'll make this public, it's certainly a surprising twist. As I mentioned earlier, it seems Donald Trump will likely instruct his supporters to dismiss Melania Trump's book, yet her views align more closely with the common sense policies Kamala Harris has been advocating regarding reproductive freedoms and calling out dangerous abortion bans.
Right? And they'll talk about, oh, well, yeah, but I do believe in the exception to save the mother's life. Okay, all right, let's break that down, shall we? Let's break that down. Let's break that down. So we're saying that we're going to create public policy that says that a doctor, a healthcare provider, will only kick in to give the care that somebody needs if they're about to die? Think about what we are saying right now.
This is definitely going to stir things up in the political arena. I can hardly believe I'm saying this, but I find myself on the same side as Melania Trump, who, interestingly enough, aligns with Kamala Harris in saying that these abortion restrictions are harmful to women of all ages. They pose risks to families and anyone who values life. The reality is that these laws are having a real impact right now, all because of Donald Trump. He is the one who played a key role in overturning Roe v. Wade. It seems like he's trying to distance himself from this issue, especially now that even Melania Trump has publicly disagreed with him. This shift is likely why he's resorting to dishonesty and why J.D. Vance attempted to mislead during last night's vice presidential debate, only to be called out for it. I'd love to hear more about this from Rachel Maddow.
But wait. I never supported a national ban. I talked about setting some minimum national standard. I never supported a national ban. Do we have tape of reality here?
I certainly would like abortion to be legal nationally.
So if you're on tape saying, I certainly would like abortion to be illegal nationally, that means you supported a national ban on abortion. J.D. Vance, an incredibly slick, facile talker. I mean, he's a professional talking head. This is what he's been doing his whole adult life. But on that one, on an issue that important, to lie on something that bluntly, I feel like, Ari, that's going to follow him around a little bit.
In other news, The Guardian has obtained a copy of Melania Trump's book before its official release on Tuesday. Personally, I won't be picking it up, and it seems like Donald Trump might not either. What's clear is that Melania Trump is now openly opposing her husband. If she feels so strongly about this vital issue in the election, why not just back Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has made it clear that she aims to restore and protect reproductive rights, which is precisely what she emphasized in her statements. That's what true leadership sounds like, someone who prioritizes the important issues and works to solve problems instead of stirring them up. Unlike Donald Trump, Kamala Harris is all about fighting for real freedom, which is ironic considering how Republicans often claim to champion it. But Kamala Harris's vision of freedom isn't just about privacy in your home or doctor's office, as Tim Walz suggests regarding Republicans. She genuinely advocates for freedom in a meaningful way. That's the kind of leader we need, and we're here to support her every day on this show. If you feel the same way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and if you've made it to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments.